So as most of you know by now, the YouTube channel Noclip just the other day released their first documentary on Bethesda Game Studios, going through the history of the company and the games that they have released and developed. This documentary, like I said, is the first, as another one is coming June 12th, just a few days after Bethesda's E3 conference, which will go over the making of Fallout 76, giving us exclusive insight into its development, design, world, mechanics, and more. Now, the one that was released the other day accidentally revealed a few things, which of course it did. It seems every day there's a new leak going around, and I will add there's a lot of fake things like no modding that was just some rubbish a random user posted, and then there's numerous fake release date images being thrown around. Anyway, it's important to take most of this stuff going around with a grain of salt, especially the ones that have come this week. The few that came before the reveal, like the 4chan and Reddit posts that were dug up, those appear real, but the others are just people who think it's funny to mess with other people. So anyway, what's interesting is this new leak is something straight from Bethesda, with one specific scene in this Noclip documentary being discussed all over the internet right now. First, we actually see a Bethesda artist wearing a Mothman shirt. And if you're unaware of what Mothman is, as stated on Wikipedia, in West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a legendary creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 12, 1966 to December 15, 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register, dated November 16, 1966, titled "Couples See Man-Sized Bird, Creature, Something." The national press soon picked up the reports and helped spread the story across the United States, so this is just further evidence of the West Virginia setting, and maybe we even get to see Mothman in Fallout 76. Next, if you actually look to this artist's monitor, we're shown a glimpse of Fallout 76, but obviously it is blurred. Although Noclip accidentally did not blur the Patreon version, it since has been deleted and re-uploaded and blurred, but it's too late because all over Reddit and a few websites have now shown what was being hidden. So what we have is our first look at the open world. This obviously is just a glimpse, but if you look to the center of the screen, we see our playable character in their vault jumpsuit surrounded by a very green environment. And that should be the biggest takeaway, which may mean that West Virginia and at least parts of the open world will be untouched by the bombs. This is a bit of a departure from what we've seen in the series. We're typically used to a dead world, but in the Noclip documentary, which I must add is a must watch, it was joked about by Bethesda's developers their approach to designing Fallout 3.
And it was a big jump from the lush forests of Oblivion to a blasted, nuclear wasteland with dead trees everywhere. A lot of the environment artists joke, like, hey, we're not allowed to use the color green unless it's in the HUD. There's no live plants, there's no grass, it's all dead, it's all brown.
Also, for those curious, outside of the center main view is more than likely just different views of this same scene, like one without textures, another without lighting, one without color, and so on and so forth. Now, in both censored and uncensored versions, you'll also notice another screen on the right, and it's showing the inside of the vault where the game will start, something that has been somewhat confirmed based on the description of Fallout 76 merchandise on Bethesda's site, which mentions, "Emerge from Vault 76 and stay warm in the harsh elements of the wasteland, while looking your best." And additionally, Todd Howard mentions in the Noclip documentary that he thinks every game will start in a vault.
I always love the vaults. Probably every Fallout we do, you'll be coming out of a vault. I like the emerging into the world.
Some people think we can see other people in vault jumpsuits in this image. It's just way too blurry to honestly tell. But getting back to the main subject of this video, the glimpse, it tells me something that I've been thinking about, and that is the Great War and the bombs that dropped, and that nuclear event did not affect all the United States, well, at least 25 years after the war. Long term, obviously, that may be a different story, but in real history with the nuclear events Chernobyl, it's been said plant life was mostly fine. Hiroshima, there were still many trees that survived and are thriving to this current day. With this game taking place in West Virginia, a location with many forests, not seeing everything burned down at this moment makes sense, but certainly there there will be some areas heavily radiated and damaged, but there's probably a good chance we don't see everyone as a skeleton. Not every distress signal will have a dead person, probably. Maybe pre-war money is still the main currency. Not all animals will be mutated. There may be less feral ghouls, but as discussed by Carol in Fallout 3, it seems we will still see ghouls because immediately after the bombs dropped in 2077, people began seeing and feeling their bodies change.
My skin started to get dry and flake off. Everyone's did. It took a while. Months, maybe a year. But sooner or later, everyone ended up like this. Some of them went crazy. Some of us just accepted it.
Additionally, we probably will still see super mutants because of the experiments going on in Vault 87, but this rule setting and some of the locations we venture into may not be abandoned or destroyed yet. Fallout 76 very likely will be the most different than any Fallout game before. I just imagine there being one town that operates the same way it did before, and maybe even a family that doesn't know the nuclear war that happened. I don't know, maybe that's a reach, but at this point I feel this seems to be a quote-unquote funny thing that Bethesda probably would include. Anyway guys, what do you make of this small little glimpse and the possibility of seeing Mothman? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value. Also consider subscribing for much more Fallout 76 content to come, and I'll see you later.